Welcome to the ACC Softball Championship, coming your way from Louisville, Kentucky. The finale of our four-quarter finals today finds Duke getting ready to take on Louisville in a 3-versus-6 matchup. Beautiful evening in Louisville with Duke getting ready to take on Louisville. As I said, Pam Ward along with Jenny Dalton-Hill, and already we have 3 quarterfinals in the book. Some exciting softball earlier today.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at how we got to this point in the tournament. It started off with Clemson, Georgia Tech in the first game of the day. Clemson came away with a 2-0 win. All the runs for Clemson came off the bat of Cami Pereira. She came into this championship series with just 1 home run. But in this one, she had 2 solo shots off Blake Nelman. It ended Georgia Tech's season and moved them on, and they will face the winner of the Virginia Tech Notre Dame game. How did that one end up? Well, Virginia Tech came away with a 4-1 win, and that was a fun win for Clemson. They're #1 in the ACC, and they are backing it up with some big hits by an unprecedented performance by Pereira. Then that Virginia Tech Notre Dame game, Virginia Tech got the 4-1 win. Keely Rochard with the complete game win in the circle, 7 strikeouts, but it was the defense behind her that needs to be cleaned up. They had 2 errors on that one, but Rochard using that rise ball, ton of swing and miss pitches. She did a really good job to keep Notre Dame at just 1 run. But check it out, so much movement, late hard break, an impressive performance for her in the circle, but I'm really expecting the defense to need to step up so that they can perform well as they face Clemson tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Then in the third game of the day, Florida State took on NC State, and it was Catherine Sandercock in the circle. She had 5 strikeouts, and it was a great performance. They came away with the 2-0 win.
So the winner of this game will take on Florida State tomorrow afternoon after Clemson and Virginia Tech. We'll see if all of the holds stay true. So Louisville getting ready to take on Duke. Duke took 3 out of 4 during the regular season, but Louisville was the last team to beat the Blue Devils.
They definitely were. And Coach Marissa Young, the Duke head coach, said she has not been surprised by the success that her team has found in just their 4th season of active play. But these two teams really match up very evenly across the diamond.
Let's take a look at that Louisville Cardinals starting lineup. And it really does begin with Carmen Greenwood, who's the Auburn transfer, by far their best hitter, hitting .435 on the season. Taylor Roby can hit and also pitch. She's terrific. And in the circle, Duke had a couple of choices, and Shelby Walters gets the ball.
Yeah, we thought maybe we'd see Peyton St. George in this one, but Shelby Walters gets the nod. She lives in the bottom of the zone, throws in the upper 60s, has developed a rise ball, but it's more of a waist pitch, so you will typically see her in the bottom of the zone using that and her changeup to mix speeds up, and expect this power pitcher to go right at hitters down in the zone and force a lot of ground balls.
And Walters was the final ACC pitcher of the week, pitched very well against NC State, part of a combined no-hitter along with Claire Davidson, who we could see come out of the bullpen. Duke has won 12 straight games. Their last loss, as we said, was to Louisville, and that was the beginning of a 4-game setback on April the 16th. They won the last 3 games, but they were close. There was 1-run rule game. The last 2 were 1-run victories for the Blue Devils, who come in under head coach Marissa Young as a very hot team. And this is a program, Clemson in its 2nd season. Duke is just in its 4th season. 1-2 pitch on the way. Greenwood has it picked by Tapia, who threw it away.
But over there on the corner, Giselle Tapia picked that one up in foul territory, and so that one, check it out, just down the line, but it bounces, that last bounce over there in foul territory. It's called right away. Good pickup. Good thing, because that one was soared over the head of the first baseman, Rachel Crabtree.
Yeah, and as you saw, Cameron Greenwood runs very well, so new life for Shelby Walters and Duke. That should be a strike. That's it. I'm out.
we noticed some unique tendencies of the strike zone in the last game between Florida State and NC State. That one here in the top of the first, we're looking to see where the home plate umpire will extend or call the pitches. That one so far a ball.
Robbie Guest is a home plate up, little comebacker that Walters handles to retire Greenwood. Always good to keep her off the bases. She's one of the best, leading her team in both hits and runs. And she singled in all 4 of the games that they played against Duke during the regular season. Maddie Newman, 3-year starter at second base for this team, also got a hit in every game against Duke. Maddie's average is down, but she is a terrific defensive second baseman. Head coach Holly April, now in her 3rd year, said Newman is starting to come on a little bit. Here's Coach April, who ACC fans will remember from her time at Pitt. Took her team to the championship game against Florida State in 2018 when they lost in heartbreaking fashion in the bottom of the 7th, thanks to, who else? Anna Shellnut.
And because of Maddie Newman's, not only is she quick, but that short game potential, Duke really pushes her. Check out, they bring in an outfielder to play over there on the left side. So you've got 3 defenders over there between 3rd and 2nd. They've pulled in an outfielder. That right fielder is now gone, so that shift is on for Newman over there on the left side.
That's a shift that Duke has used throughout the season. We saw them use it last weekend against NC State. They swept that 4-game series.
Well, and a shift is great as long as your pitcher can hit her spots. Right now, if you see Walters miss inside, right field is completely vulnerable. So if Newman can get around a pitch and drive it to the right side, we're looking at extra bases.
Yeah, there's nobody in right field, and as you see, the center fielder Morris is shifted in and over to the left. So there's a lot of real estate on the right side.
And Walters has a really good curveball, but you will not see her using that in this at-bat. Expect her to just pound the bottom of the zone with the drop ball. And even a changeup can be vulnerable in this situation. She does have a really good changeup, but what happens as a hitter is your barrel gets around a changeup. So expect to just see the bottom of the zone outside pounded completely by Walters.
Does it again. Walters, second chance. That's a high throw that forced Crabtree to vacate the bag, so Newman's safe.
And it's a routine play back to the pitcher, so Walters gets it in plenty of time, but what happens is she looks up and recognizes how quickly she's getting down the line, rushes that throw just perhaps a little bit. It's high, pulls Crabtree off the bag, and now you've got some speed at first for Louisville.
Throwing error on Shelby Walters puts Newman on first, and now Taylor Roby, who is a starting pitcher tonight and will DP when she's not pitching. She is second in the ACC in home runs. Only Randy Farraker has hit more for the Wolfpack. Twelve of those home runs have come in ACC games, and that is tops for any hitter in the league. Torres behind the plate, throws down, but not in time. Newman swipes second.
Well, and even after a double clutch, that was a really close play down there at second base. Great lead and a clutch. Little hiccup in that throw. Had she let go of that ball right away, that would have nabbed Maddie Newman. That would have been a no doubt out, but because of that, she gets over there.
Only the second stolen base for Newman this year. And you saw in the replay that Newman kind of hesitated a little bit herself, and that is probably why Torres held onto the ball. Not sure if maybe she would try to go back to first. But that was a spectacular throw to Foreman, just a skosh too late. Roby with a visit from Torres as the count goes, or Walters with the visit from Torres as the count goes to 3-1 on Roby. Marissa Young started this program. She was a terrific pitcher at Michigan, was the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year one year and the Player of the Year another, and has built this from scratch. And boy, what a good job. They got off to such a great start last year. They were 23-4 when everything shut down. They have been to all 3 ACC tournaments. There was not one last year. They have yet to win a game, however. 0-2 in their first opportunities. They were shut out by Virginia Tech in 2018. Notre Dame beat them in 2019. And they come in as the 3rd seed this season.
And just so impressive to see the records that Marissa Young has been able to put up on the board. Every year, more than 20 wins in each of those first 3 seasons, and now knocking on the door of their first 40-win year.
2 runners on. Roby draws the 1-out walk. Rebecca Chung, the DP, batting cleanup this evening with an opportunity to get Louisville its the early lead. Chung hit a 2-run home run against Duke in the series during the regular season.
Well, and being a DP is a very unique role. You sit on the bench and you're only out to hit. And so it takes a unique mindset to be able to sit in the dugout, keep engaged in each at bat. But when you talk with Coach Holly April about Rebecca Chung, she says she's clutch. She just gets big hits. She takes pride in her hitting and has earned her role. Just a great pinch hitter and worked her way up into this DP role. It's a really tough job, but she seems to always be ready.
Coach Roby going with a pinch runner. It is Jordan Wolf running for Roby, who is the starting pitcher. Jordan, a senior on this team. Now the 1-2. And a diving attempt by Crabtree, just couldn't quite reach it.
And while that is a great attempt at that catch and foul territory, it also leaves you vulnerable for advancement on the bases. So remember, there's a runner on second. So had Crabtree been able to nab that, I would expect to see the runner over there at second base able to advance because she laid out for it.
Another 1-2 on the way to Chung with 2 on and just 1 away. That's laced right to the shortstop, throws over to double off Newman. Jamison Cable over to Foreman, and that ends the inning.
Defense wins ball games, and this is just great defense. A line drive over there to Jamison Cable, heads up play, throws over to second base. The double play gets him out of the top half of the inning.
Quarterfinal, Duke coming up. Deja Davis getting things started, and she is DPing today. Davis has split time between shortstop and the outfield this year, and always a good table setter for them. Taylor Roby gets the start in the circle for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Taylor Roby will step in, throwing in the upper 60s, will fill the bottom of the zone. And it's not a drop ball, but rather a two-seam fastball that seems to run both up and down. So you may think that's a rise, but that's actually just a two-seam fastball that she's trying to throw with a little bit of movement. Also has a screwball in on the hands of righties, but you won't see hard break. She's more of a pitcher that throws through the zone, just runs her pitches. Changeup has been a point of emphasis for her and has really been successful the second half of the season, so she'll use that to mix up some speeds.
Roby has started more games than anybody else in the ACC. This is her 39th start of the season. She pitched a complete game shutout over Duke in the 2-0 win on April 16th. Again, that is the last game that Duke has lost. Winners of 12 in a row. Notre Dame saw its 14-game winning streak end earlier today when Virginia Tech beat them. We do expect Notre Dame to get back into the NCAA tournament. Duke, they've got to be a shoe-in as well.
Well, it all comes down to RPI. Notre Dame is that team that could be a bubble team. They sit at 25 in the RPI. Louisville is the next highest RPI team in the ACC, but they sit at 73. So Louisville is a win or be done situation, in my opinion, Pam. I don't know that they'll be able to get in with that low of an RPI. However, because of all of the situations you've seen around the country, I don't know what the selection committee is going to do, like with the Big Ten, who hasn't played anyone other than themselves this year. So you just don't ever want to leave it up to the committee. You want to make sure that you put together a body of work that gives you an opportunity to get in on your own merit and not leave it up to chance at the end of the season.
Full count. Davis, leadoff walk. Seven pitch at bat gets Davis on for Giselle Tapia, the third baseman. Projections that 5 teams from the ACC will be getting in, different services that you can get access to. You see Davis has 11 stolen bases, and there's quite a difference between the top 5. You mentioned it, Jenny, the jump from 25 to 73.
Yeah, Florida State, you see them coming in at 8. So even if they don't win this, they are a shoo-in to make it to regionals. And a lot of these teams have actually put into host. So you've got 3 ACC teams on that list that have put into host regionals.
Davis takes off and steals second. The ball goes into the outfield, and Deja easily is able to take the extra base.
Well, you know Duke likes to grab those extra bases. They had 71 stolen bases coming into this one, so there's number 72. The late swing prevents the catcher from coming up out of her crouch early. And a heads-up play by Davis, recognizes the ball into the outfield, and now Duke puts themselves just 60 feet away from scoring here in the bottom of the first.
So that's a stolen base for Davis, her 12th of the year, and give the error to the catcher, Cassidy Greenwood. The E2 advancing her to third. And now just 60 feet away. Stays put as the ball went right up the third baseline. Davis decided not to chance it. Thrown out by Ornelas, who's playing third but not hitting for Louisville.
Well, and because of the placement of that ground ball, it's impossible for Deja Davis to advance. The ball hit in front of her slowly on the ground, a great out, but just one out. Duke in a good spot.
Now Cameron Jackson, number 3 hitter. He's 4 for 9 in the series against Louisville, in which Duke took 3 out of 4 games. And in that series, Louisville committed 10 errors in the 4 games. One of the things that head coach Holly April lamented about when she was speaking with us last night, something that you have to clean up, and they do have an error in this inning that allowed Davis to get to third.
Yeah, solid defense in the postseason is the best way to win, because whether you've got a great pitcher in the circle or not, you have to play clean behind them to protect the lead that you're able to get when you're in the box.
Jackson goes down swinging. Big second out for Roby.
Yeah, it's a pitch that just runs up through the zone. That two-seam fastball that has a little tail on it up through the zone. Ran it up high. Really nice pitch up and over the bat of Jackson.
2 away now for Jamison Cable. Senior shortstop who will be returning next year for Duke. First team all-conference performer this year. Taken back over at shortstop. Deja Davis has had some struggles there. Also, Deja's playing on a knee that is not 100%. Cable actually was the starting shortstop when Davis came in, and then Davis won the position, and now Jamison's back there.
Well, Cable's one of those utility players for Duke who has played 8 of 9 different spots on the field for Duke. The only one that she hasn't played is catcher, so she's really found a way to move herself into an RBI role, has found some clutch RBIs this season, and has been moved back to shortstop because of the great range that she's got defensively.
Bounced in. Good job by Greenwood. Keep it in front of her. Davis so dangerous over there at third base.
Well, and back there behind the dish, it is so important to be a wall. Knowing that the changeup is going to be a pitch that will be a difference maker. That one in the dirt blocks it up really well. Another good block back behind the dish for Cassidy Greenwood.
Second walk of the inning for Roby. Puts Cable on.
Well, and what you're finding is the changeup is not hitting its spot correctly. And so they're throwing that pitch early in the count when she has some balls to play with. But right now, she's going to need to go back in the bullpen after this inning, locate that pitch, and really get that one on.
Christina Foreman, one of the hottest hitters, not just on this team, but in the ACC, went 7 for 14 against NC State last weekend. With 4 home runs. And that sweep over the Wolfpack. Cable now over at second. Foreman lifts it, high fly, and hits the top of the wall. Foreman tagged out at third, but there is video replay that is being used during this ACC championship. Each coach gets 2 challenges, and if I'm Marissa Young, I'm challenging that.
Most definitely, and each coach gets 2 challenges, like you said, Pam, but this ball, deep fly ball down to left, what does it hit is the question. Does it hit the beyond the fence? And that's what it looks like it does to me. It looks like it hits our camera deck out there in left field. And because of that, it should be a home run. And she's going to need to go touch third base too.
Just to make it official. To the umpiring crew.
But a little confusion. She's still got her Evo shield on her mask of her helmet. Now, Holly April can challenge this. The umpire crew is saying it is a home run. Holly April can choose to challenge. That would take us to video replay. But that's a huge hit for Christina Foreman. The ball got a little bit deep, but she was able to get her enough of the barrel through. The question is, did it land beyond the fence or hit the top of the fence? Because of our replay, we are able to see that it hit the deck for our cameraman, and the home run was called on the field.
So that was the call on the field, as you said. The officials, the umpires appeared to get it right because it did look like it hit the camera deck, which is indeed beyond the fence. And big smiles, boy, Christina Foreman as I think you're right, it is being challenged now by Louisville, by Coach April. They're going to go over there and make sure, but my goodness, Christina Foreman now with 5 home runs in her last 5 games.
Well, and there are 14 plays that are reviewable under video replay. Home run, whether it's fair or foul, is one of those. And also, is it beyond the fence? Does it hit the pole? All of those things are reviewable by the new rule, or not new rules, but experimental rules that are being put in play here in the ACC Championship, the SEC Tournament, and the Sun Belt Tournament here in the postseason. It is a rule change year, so the reason that they're doing this in the postseason is to be able to take some of that data back to the coaches who will then vote this coming year. And the call is confirmed. It is a home run, and Duke now with a 3-run advantage.
Louisville loses one of its 2 challenges.
Yeah, this is no doubt to me. It goes onto the camera deck. In real time, you couldn't really tell, but in video replay, definitely can see that contact being made with the camera deck before the ball comes back into play.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the camera deck, that would have cleared the fence. There would have been no question. Foreman with the huge 3-run shot with 2 outs. That's the first hit for Duke. A couple of walks surrendered by Roby. And then the 3-run homer by Foreman.
Well, and Pam, it reminds me of the first game of the NC State series that was the last regular season series for Duke. They had 4 home runs in the first inning in that last regular season matchup between NC State and them. So they definitely have power. They know how to hit the long ball. That's their 45th home run of the year.
Caroline Jacobson playing right field this evening for Duke. Comes up now with the bases clean and 2 away. Popped up. Newman handles it to retire the side, but a couple of walks and then the blast by Foreman.
Man, Foreman with an absolute jack barely clears the fence, but it puts him on the board, and they're up 3-0.
That's the deck. Welcome back to Louisville. Duke with a 3-0 lead. That's Adam manning the camera out in left field, where the ball hit Adams' deck. Took a look at the replay to confirm that it was indeed a home run. Christina Foreman with a 3-run shot to get Duke out to a big lead after just 1 inning. Again, Foreman, she is on fire when it comes to power right now for this Duke ball club. 5 home runs in her last 5 games. Pam Ward along with Jenny Dalton-Hill on a spectacular evening in Louisville, the quarterfinal of the evening. Charlie Butler, the right fielder, leading things off for the Cardinals. Clemson and Virginia Tech play tomorrow at 1 Eastern time. And then follow that with Florida State taking on the winner of this game. So far, the seeds have held up. The only upset was number 9 Georgia Tech beating number 8 Syracuse yesterday. Clemson, the 1 seed. They were the regular season champions, breaking the stranglehold that Florida State has had on that. Clemson fans hanging out.
And it's a gorgeous night. Where else would you want to be but the ballpark?
See, fans have been allowed in limited controlled numbers. A lot of people out on that outfield berm. .66 degrees now in Louisville. Weather's supposed to be great the next couple of days, which we always like to hear. Championship game will be Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN. Clemson and Florida State did not play in the regular season. I'm not saying I would like to see them play in the final, but I would like to see them play in the final. And I think a lot of softball fans would too. Good walk, good at bat for Butler. Speaking of Clemson and Florida State, bat and ball stuff, they're going to play baseball Friday night right here on the ACC Network, the opener of a big 3-game series. Coverage starts at 6 Eastern tomorrow right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Well, Matt Nelson, the Florida State catcher, leads the nation in home runs. You like the long ball? He's got 20 of them. The team has 64 this year. Clemson not too shabby, though, with the long ball either in baseball. 55 home runs for them. So that'll be a good matchup. But in terms of softball, I think Duke and Louisville would like to have something to say about that Clemson-Florida State matchup on Saturday afternoon.
Virginia Tech going to play Clemson tomorrow. Not looking ahead, but just because they did not play during the regular season, I know a lot of softball fans would look forward to that.
Well, we've talked a little bit about already the postseason after this ACC championship. What do regionals look like? We know that 2 teams from the same conference will not meet up in regionals, but they could meet up in the second round. It's super regionals, and so you would not be able to see that Florida State-Clemson matchup at the first round, but there's always that potential that it could happen in supers before you even get to Oklahoma City based on seedings. So you'll want to stay tuned and watch that selection show Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
Yes, we will have that for you as well. Here's Michaela Hurst. Pounds that to Cable, who usually is solid over there. Bobbled it.
Well, and Hurst just swings so hard. Cable had her heels on the grass. She was playing so far back. Takes a really good angle to the ball, but it takes one too many hops. Typically up the middle, you want to take an angle that goes towards the ball, not deep and away from the ball, especially in that 5-6 hole. So it eats her up, and now you've got runners at first and second. They're going to give that a hit.
Yeah, she really was playing deep. And that is an infield single for Hurst. Butler goes over to second. Vanessa Miller in to run for Hurst. Now the first 2 runners on, a walk and then an infield single, setting up Cassidy Greenwood. Shows bunt. Cassidy, the younger sister of Carmen Greenwood, transferred into Louisville from Auburn. Cassidy came to Louisville directly.
And she was a really hot hitter back in 2020, led the team in average with a 386 average, had a home run in that shortened season. This year came in with maybe a little bit of a different focus, was working on her skills back behind the plate, and her average has taken a little bit of a hit.
Down 0-2 to Walters. Another borderline pitch.
You know, Walters wanted that one. That's so tight on the plate. It's a great location, especially sitting 0-2. That's one of those pitches you do not want to leave up to the umpire, but she gets the nod to get the count up to a 1-2. But yeah, that's one of those pitches you've got to be careful of. So with no outs and a runner in scoring position, I think that's why you see Marissa Young out here in the circle. Just calm down the defense, recognizing that they have had errors, 42 errors on the year. Deja Davis started as the starting shortstop. Cable was moved in about midway through the year to give them a little bit more range. But right now, they've got to make some plays and get themselves out of this tough spot.
1-2 pitch to Greenwood, 2 on, nobody out. And Marissa Young was a very good pitcher, as we said, at Michigan. She is the one who calls the pitches for this Blue Devils staff. Is 24th in the nation in earned run average at just over 2 per game. Greenwood just continuing to foul off pitches from Walters.
Well, and that's that spot that we saw earlier in the at-bat called a ball, but she doesn't want to leave it up to the umpire. Heaven forbid it be a situation where that pitch now gets called a strike. We have seen inconsistent strike zones throughout this year. She does not want to leave it up to the home plate umpire, Robbie Guest.
That one a little bit more off the plate.
That's a great spot by Walters, recognizing that she can extend the zone, knowing that she has some pitches to play with in this count. That's a great pitch.
Miller, the pinch runner, over at first, getting in that sprinter stance. Another one spoiled. Next pitch will be the 40th pitch already for Walters.
When a lot of teams around the country talk about quality at bats and what does it take to create a quality at bat. Anything over 8 pitches is considered a quality at bat. Now, definitely she doesn't want to go down with a strikeout or with a weak ground ball, but she has extended this at bat because of fouling off those pitches and given herself a better chance against Walters.
Now she's worked the count full. Little comebacker. Walters hesitated. Walters looking over at third.
So it's a comebacker back to the circle. She gets it and looks to third to get the lead runner, but recognizes that she's going to not get the play or on the lead runner and just takes too much time to make the play over at first. Typically, you want to give it a look, but because she moves her feet and then runs toward first base, Cassidy Greenwood fast enough down the line, but they're going to take this one to replay. I think she's safe, and based on our looks, I'm going to say bases are going to be loaded after this one.
Yeah, you saw the call was that she was out. You see Greenwood just sticking right there at first, but just from that one look that we saw, she's safe.
Well, and she hits the very front of the bag, which is a very tough look for the first base umpire, Scott Mayer, to be able to see. It almost looks as though she runs over the bag, which would be called out. But she hits the very front of the bag. They're going to have the ability to look at a bunch of different angles to see that she does nip the front of the bag. And I love that we have video replay in this postseason to be able to aid the umpires. They're not perfect. This is a 4-man umpire crew, and there's the call. It is a reversal. It is overturned, and now Louisville with bases loaded. It's amazing. But this experimental video review comes with 2 challenges by each of the coaches up until the 6th inning. After the 6th inning, it is at the umpire's discretion. And if we go to extra innings, the umpires can request to go to replay with no limits. Unless it's being abused, the umpires will honor that. They do not want to be the one that is calling this championship series. They want to make sure that they can confirm all the calls.
5 of 7 batters for Louisville, 5 of the 7 have come to the plate, have reached base against Shelby Walters, who is really struggling. And that was scored an infield single for Cassidy Greenwood. Now Celine Funky trying to bring him home. And Louisville now is out of challenges. Each team gets 2. They challenged the home run call in the first inning. It was called a home run and then upheld by video replay. Challenged that call, which was reversed. but you only get 2. It's not like you get 1 back if you're correct. They're done.
But I would have challenged in both of those situations as well, both of them coming at very pivotal points in this game.
Yeah, bases loaded, nobody out, as opposed to runners on second and third with 1 away for that challenge. And yeah, 3-run homer, I would challenge every time as well. It was so close, hit the camera deck. 1-2 pitch. Funky fists it. Up the middle. So Celine Funky, the number 8 hitter for the Cardinals, comes through.
Yeah, she just gets fisted. This ball gets in on her hands, squeaks it into the outfield. Nothing that you can do out there in center. Kyla Morris gets it in quick, but a run will get plated.
Bases remain loaded.
So check out
Still
the defense.
nobody out. Pardon me?
Nobody out. The defense is in. They're trying to go home to 1, get a double play, prevent a run from scoring. Right now, Servey just needs to punch this one to the outfield, just like Funky did.
But instead, the comebacker results in the force play. Walters flipped it to Torres to get the pinch runner Miller for the first out of the inning. Now the bases are loaded with 1 away.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed as we've watched Shelby Walters, she's a great defensive pitcher. She gets to a lot of balls, but there are times where her overhand throw has not been reliable. So that underhand toss to home, very good. Gets the out at home to prevent another run, but it's that overhand throw that's given her a little bit of trouble this year.
Back to the top of the order, Carmen Greenwood began this game with a comebacker to Walters. A walk, 2 infield singles, and then the RBI single by Funky to bring in the run. You see Greenwood hitting .500 with runners in scoring position. No one is warming in the Duke bullpen, in case you were wondering. Walters struggling a little bit. And that's off the glove of Tapia. And the runners advance another 60 feet. Second run crosses the plate.
And that's a little bit of a scary play over there at third base. Sharply hit ground ball past the glove of the third baseman, Tapia. But instead of sliding in right away, the run is plated, but instead of sliding in right away over there at third, she thinks about it a little bit too late. But she's safe at third, and that we're going to get a pitching change. Peyton St. George will replace Shelby Walters. We'll introduce her to you after the break. We now see Peyton St. George in the circle for Duke. She's a veteran in the circle and has increased her velocity by 4 or 5 miles an hour this year over previous years. She's going to attack the zone early and go to her rise ball for the strikeout. So a little bit of a different look for Duke in the circle. Now a ball up in the zone, a very reliable changeup. She will attack these hitters by mixing speeds and going to the top of the zone, just climbing the ladder, trying to get the swing and miss.
So Shelby Walters just lasts an inning and a third and is responsible for all 3 runners on base through 52 pitches.
Yeah, that is definitely not the kind of outing we expect out of Shelby Walters. She came into this game with 122 2/3 innings. Not a lot of free passes, just 26 on the year, and is used to throwing more strikeouts. Has 75 on the season as well, with a very low ERA of a 1.20. Has had the first no-hitter in Duke history, combined for the second no-hitter. Is just a very effective pitcher in the circle, but Louisville able to figure her out, and the defense for Duke not there to help her. And now you see the shift on again with that outfielder being pulled in over to the left side.
Maddie Newman, the first batter St. George faces. Newman reached on an error back in the first inning, which was just the last inning. Shelby Walters threw 52 pitches and got 4 outs.
Yeah, right fielder coming in, 3 defenders on the left side. And there's that rise ball up in the zone. They are expecting for her to put this ball short game. She's probably not going to bunt in this situation with bases loaded, but she is not known for power. So they're going to play her, squeeze her, and try to get the out at home.
Newman does not have any home runs on the season. Remember, there are 3 infield hits in this inning.
So how does Duke defend it? They put another infielder in the infield to try to make sure.
Should have done it earlier. That time she puts it in the air, foul ball. Jackson could not catch up to it.
Well, and with Duke with the 1-run lead, if she catches that, if Jackson comes away with the catch on the slide, you're looking at another run potentially being plated. And so a catch on the foul ball in that situation, that's probably a good let go by Cameron Jackson out there in left.
Actually, I think that was Caroline Jacobson, the right fielder, who now has been shifted over into left.
Because of the shift.
Because of the shift. So no one's where they should be, or not all of them are. Jacobson goes back nicely. There's a tag, and Louisville's tied it.
Yeah, so when a ball goes to the outfielder and you're tagging up, you've got to make sure that you do not leave contact with the bag until the ball hits the glove or the ground in the outfield. So check it out. Catch and release. Duke does a really good job, though, of containing the damage. They know the run's going to score, but they keep the runner off of third base by getting the ball in quickly.
Newman picks up just her 9th RBI of the season on the sac fly. And Louisville has tied this game. 2 away now for Taylor Roby, who is the 8th Cardinal to bat in this second inning.
Great effort over there by Rachel Crabtree. That would have been a tremendous grab to get them out of the inning. But check it out. Beautiful. Oh, just tight. And the thing is, when you're not at your home park, you don't know how much ground you have in foul territory. This is actually a really spread out park, a lot of foul ground to play with, but she came up with that one with alligator arms, not knowing where the fence was.
0-2 to Roby, just a little bit high. There is quite a bit of foul territory here, a little bit more than you see in some other parks. Got her, big strikeout for St. George to come in. Shelby Walters charged for all 3 runs that come across as the Cardinals have tied it up.
This is the party that every player wants to be at.
It's going to be passionate softball for sure.
Back to crown a national champion for the first time since 2019.
They get to chase history here.
It is coming Sunday at 9 Eastern Time on ESPN2. We will find out where everyone's going, and then the regionals follow, super regionals around Memorial Day weekend, and the College World Series, the Women's College World Series back in Oklahoma City, June 3rd through the 9th.
Oh, this is my favorite time of year. I sit by the TV on Sunday night, so excited to see what teams are going to host. And then you and I start talking about, where do you think we're going to go?
Well, this year we're going to talk about where do we think, what teams are we going to do, because we're not traveling.
Yeah, check out this pitch. Up in the zone. Oh, those check swing foul balls make me so mad as a hitter because I actually didn't offer and they just found my bat.
This is Rachel Crabtree, the first baseman, batting for the first time. So Taylor Roby gave up a 3-run homer in the first inning, but her team just scored 3 to equalize things again. Winner takes on Florida State tomorrow afternoon in the semis. Second strikeout for Roby.
Man, that is just a nasty spot down there, down and away. And Pam, I'm going to say it, it's been a little inconsistent on that outside corner for these lefties. And so because of that, as a hitter, you cannot leave it to chance. You've got to get the bat off your shoulder on that pitch that may seem a little outside down in the zone.
Taylor Roby in the circle, taking on Kelly Torres now. Takes the strike. Now the 0-2 bounces off the plate.
Kelly Torres has done a bulk of the catching for Duke, but we've also seen Jasmine Moreno give her a little bit of a break. This season has been really long. When we talked with Marissa Young, the head coach for Duke, she talked about how long those 4-game series have been in ACC play. She said it's a chess match, and it's physically exhausting, but it's also mentally exhausting as you go into these things. And a catcher, that second day has a double header, and so sometimes it gives you an opportunity to play another catcher to rest the legs of the starter. Torres gets the nod as the starter, though, because her offensive numbers have been a little bit better than Moreno this season. So that's why she gets the nod, a .256 hitter coming into this one. 1 home run on the year and some speed on the bases with 4 stolen bases.
Hits it on the ground. Ornelas throws her out. So the ACC playing 4-game series all season to try to cut down on travel during the pandemic. And Roby with the complete game shutout, winning it 2-0. But then Duke with the run rule and the back-to-back 1-run wins for Duke to close it out. And the Roby shutout, again, was the last time Duke has lost a game. They have run off 12 straight wins, starting with game 2 of that series.
Well, and they won the last 3 games of this series, but the last game, game 4, went extra innings. It was a tough-fought game. These teams very evenly matched, and they're showing it.
Kyla Morris, the number 9 hitter. First time we've seen her at bat.
You'll notice her split grip as she steps into the box. You see a lot of slappers use that split grip, but hers is a little bit more exaggerated than what you see for most. As a lefty slapper, it's used for barrel control, but we've also seen a lot of right-handed hitters use that split grip, and the right-handed hitter uses it to feel that whip through the zone. So Morris, a slapper, will use that split grip to just try to push the ball to the left side.
Right back to Roby. Mowing them down in order for the first time for either team tonight.
It was a crazy second inning for Louisville. They were able to even up the score. Michaela Hurst with a ground ball to short. It's misplayed. First error. Then Cassidy Greenwood hits it back to Shelby Walters, has a little bit of a miscue, and she's able to beat it out over there at first. Then Jenna Serby, a hit in the 5-6 hole, plated another one. Louisville able to come away with 3 runs in that one to even up the score at 3. Now up again. That was a crazy inning, Pam. To be able to have all of those hits, none of them leaving the infield, and to even up the score.
Maddie Newman's sac fly. She flew out to the right fielder, Caroline Jacobson, who was playing left field because they had the shift on for Newman. That's how the scoring ended. And it chased the starter, Shelby Walters. Peyton St. George coming in, gave up the sac fly, and then struck out Roby to end the second inning, in which 8 Cardinals came to the plate. There's Shelby Walters, who can come back in and pitch as the starter. Rebecca Chung, the only Louisville batter who did not get a chance to hit in the second inning, leads things off here in the third. That's a nice off-speed pitch.
Yeah, that's a nasty changeup, and it's hard because it comes out of the same tunnel as her rise ball, so you think it's going to come in and perhaps sit flat, and then it just drops off the table there at the end as it falls off with a bunch of speed going away as well.
Chung lined into a double play her first time up. Two, rip foul. Peyton St. George, like Shelby Walters, the departed starter, both first team all-conference performers this season. Walters only a junior, St. George a senior, but will come back and pitch next year. Nine Duke softball players graduated. 4 of them will be coming back. The other 5 either have jobs lined up or they're going to go pursue more degrees, doctorates and things like that.
Yeah, those 5 seniors that are leaving. Rain Wilson, she had a season-ending knee injury earlier in the year, was a starting third baseman, was leading them in offense, but she's got a job with Backroads. She'll be a travel leader. Kendall Lang, pharmaceutical sales in Texas.
Crabtree grabs it in foul territory for the first out. Weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern, get the latest news and information from around the Atlantic Coast Conference. It's Packer and Durham each weekday morning on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Tomorrow they're going to talk more about this ACC softball championship. Also a little bit more about the College Cup, the soccer playoffs underway as well. So check it out. I hear they have very discerning taste in the guests that they get.
I would have to agree because I was actually able to be on their show this week previewing this ACC championship. But in that same vein, they've got Dabo Sweeney and FSU's John Pack this week as well coming on.
All downhill after you, Jenny, though.
I mean,
they're just
I didn't
table
say
scraps now, right? What does that Dabo guy do again?
Oh, you know, just wins championships.
Wins titles, yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Butler led off that crazy second inning, walked and scored the first of Louisville's 3 runs.
Well, and in that highlight package out of the break, I want to make sure I give a little bit more credit to Carmen Greenwood. It was Carmen Greenwood's hit that plated the additional run, not Jenna Serby sitting down in the 9 slot. So Carmen Greenwood, that leadoff hitter, hard hit into the shortstop slot. So impressive all the way through the lineup for Louisville.
RBI singles by Funky and Greenwood in that second inning, and then the sac fly RBI by Newman evened it up at 3 for head coach Holly April. in her 3rd season at Louisville. To build this program back up. Almost got Pitt into the NCAA tournament 3 years ago. They got to the final and lost to Florida State. Florida State's won 6 straight ACC tournament titles, but they are the number 2 seed this year. It's Clemson who won the regular season in only their 2nd season of existence. Morris, 2 away. Duke in their 4th season, trying to win their first game in an ACC tournament, trying to get into the NCAA for the first time. Both Clemson and Duke, unless the committee, something really strange is happening with the committee, they're going to get in. Very exciting times. Coach has already said they're going to have a watch party.
Yeah, but check out
stranglehold here.
Definitely 17 tournament titles. You've got to be kidding me. And the last one that was played back in 2019 went to FSU.
Oh my goodness,
Awesome.
That is a beauty of a sliding catch. Caroline Jacobson ends the inning with style.
Beautiful catch out there and right. Makes it look easy. The figure 4 slide comes away with the 3rd out of the inning. Nice catch by Caroline Jacobson.
With the big 3-run home run by Christina Foreman, and then 3 runs scored by Louisville to tie it up in a crazy bottom or top of the 2nd, in which 8 batters came to the plate. Holly April, her 3rd year as the Louisville head coach after some success over at Pitt. We had a conversation with her just a couple of days ago, and she has an interesting way of looking at things. She says she's more of a realist than a positive person, among other things.
Well, and when we talked to her about the Duke series the last time, she said we had 10 errors in the Duke series. And it's just not fun to play when you're making that many errors. She said the players want feedback, but they want it to be positive. And she said, well, I'll spin it and I'll say it was positively not good. So I love Holly April. I was able to play with her on the USA softball team. We went to Guatemala together back in 1994, long time ago.
Davis has it scooped by Hurst for the 1st out of the 3rd inning. And she said people need to hear the truth. She said fluff doesn't get anybody anywhere. She's definitely not a fluffy person. And she also said, I'm positive this is what you need to do today. We'll be better for it. So she doesn't mince words, and some players might not respond to that very well. But it's good to, I would rather play for someone who is honest and doesn't sugarcoat things. Here's Tapia, who flies out to Funky.
Well, when it comes to playing the game of softball, you want to enjoy being together. She said when we were making that many errors, it was hard to celebrate the moments because they were just combined with so many miscues. And so as a defender, you have to own your craft, practice it, put the nerves aside, let your athleticism take over. She said that those errors, they just have to go away. We're not going to be able to win the tough ball game if we continue to give away runs. And right now, both of these teams on either side of the diamond have an error on the day.
Cameron Jackson struck out in her 1st at bat. Taylor Roby has settled down, a little bit of a rough 1st inning. Couple of walks, and then the 3-run home run to Foreman that barely cleared the left field wall. She's retired 6 in a row, no base runners since Foreman's home run back in the 1st. Taylor Roby from Mount Washington, Kentucky. What part of the state is that in, Jenny?
Say it again.
Mount Washington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Nope.
I am geographically challenged.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. I've lived in Kentucky for 22 years.
Just wanted to confirm that you did not know that.
Yeah. Well, you knew that going into it.
Yeah, I kind of figured that it was a safe bet. But Roby is really special. She's in the lineup either as the DP or the pitcher every day, and another nifty inning. Newman throws out Jackson. That's 8-pitch inning for Roby, who has settled in. Tie ball game in Louisville. Some great pitchers in the ACC, none better than Keely Rochard this year. She is the pitcher of the year, and earlier today against Georgia Tech, she was absolutely terrific. She only had 7 strikeouts, which for her is sort of an off day, but kept the Georgia Tech hitters at bay. She gave a one hit, against Notre Dame. Georgia Tech had to take on Valerie Cagle, who shut them out 2-0 with 14 strikeouts. And then in the game that we just did, Catherine Sandercock really shut down a very powerful NC State team. And the winner of this game will play Florida State. Cassidy Greenwood in her last at bat saw 9 pitches, singled back to the pitcher at the time, who, in part of that 3-run inning, that was Walters who was in there at the time, since departed. A terrific at bat. So Clemson, Virginia Tech. How about this tomorrow? Keely Rochard against Valerie Cagle. I'm in for that.
I am all about that. I cannot wait. That 1 o'clock game is going to be red hot.
Cagle, both the freshman of the year and the player of the year. She, like Roby for Louisville, either pitches or DPs. And when she pitches, she hits. So you got the freshman / player of the year taking on the pitcher of the year tomorrow. That's 1 Eastern time here on the ACC network, and then follow that up with Florida State against the winner of this game. And the winners tomorrow will play at high noon on Saturday on ESPN for the championship and the automatic bid. St. George shaking her head. Got her.
Yeah, that's a really good pitcher's pitch. Outside corner, continues to run away. Beautiful spot. That's a tough one to catch up to because you've got to let it get deep. Great swing on it, but just couldn't find it.
And Peyton St. George coming in to relieve Shelby Walters, who only faced 10 batters and threw 52 pitches, has retired all 6 batters that she has faced. The first one, Newman, did get an RBI sac fly with the bases loaded, but St. George doing exactly what Marissa Young hoped she would do, come in and settle things down. Celine Funke had an RBI single back in that 3-run second inning. Cable grabs it for out number 2.
Just a really good outing for Peyton St. George, coming in, giving a much different look than Shelby Walters in the circle. St. George is the strikeout pitcher on this staff. Came into this game with 174 strikeouts, the most innings on staff. Shelby Walters, that drop ball pitcher, induced a lot of ground balls. But just so many swings and misses for Peyton St. George. I was actually surprised. I thought Peyton St. George would get the start in this one. But the defense behind Shelby Walters just couldn't figure it out, and Peyton St. George gives a much different look to these Louisville hitters.
St. George third in the ACC in strikeouts, as you said, now up to 176 on the season, and only Keely Rochard at Virginia Tech has a better opponent's batting average. Opponents hitting just 169 against St. George this season. Third in shutouts, 5th in complete games in this league with some good pitchers, and she is rolling. That's her 3rd strikeout, 2nd of the inning. Take a look now at our player spotlight brought to you by New York Life. It was in the first inning. Christina Foreman with the long ball.
Yeah, ruled a home run on the field. It would go to video replay. She had already gone back to the dugout thinking she was out, but got that 3-run shot. Deja Davis was aboard, as well as Jamison Cable. Those were the 3 runs that you see up for Duke, and she will be on deck.
Cable leading things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you. A lovely evening in Louisville. Louisville coming up with 3 runs in the 2nd inning to tie it. 3 runs on 4 hits and an error. Duke 3 runs on that 1 hit. Yes, that's the only one they've gotten. And that was the 3-run homer we just showed you. Duke also has committed an error. Taylor Roby in the circle has really responded well. Has not allowed a base runner since Foreman's home run. Really are some good pitchers in this league.
The unique piece is always being able to find that second pitcher. So it's fun to find an ace, but to make a deep run in the postseason, you really need to have that 1-2 punch to give different looks and also just relieve an arm. It's a long postseason, tons of games that have to be played. The difference being from 20 years ago, it was a one and done. Once you got to the World Series, you just ran your way all the way through. But now there's that championship series at the end where the best 2 out of 3, it's hard to ride one arm all the way through the postseason anymore. You really need 2 different looks.
Duke relying on Peyton St. George after Ashley Walters had an uncharacteristic inning of struggling with her control. That's a pop-out Cable. Each pitcher has now retired 8 straight batters.
Yeah, you wonder which team is going to be the one that breaks out of this. St. George taking the circle for Duke has found a way to contain Louisville, and Taylor Roby doing a really good job of getting herself and these hitters.
St. George has not allowed a base runner since coming in for Walters, and here is the offense so far for Duke. Deja Davis walked, Jamison Cable walked, and then Foreman hit the home run in the 1st inning. No other hits for Duke. They are 4th in the ACC in batting average, 2nd in runs driven in. And Roby has done a good job against him so far this evening. Just that one go for ball pitch that barely cleared the fence in left field. There's a changeup on 3-0.
That is a great pitch, and to be able to trust it in 3-0, we saw earlier in this game she was not able to locate that changeup. So for her to be able to throw that in a 3-0 count, it now puts it in these Duke hitters' heads that it's coming.
That was one thing that head coach Holly April spoke with us about, how Roby's changeup has really been coming on as of late, and that was a perfect example.
Well, a changeup is such a necessary pitch against power hitters to be able to keep them out of their legs. Really mixed speeds, but that pitch gets away from her and she delivers the walk.
First base runner that she has allowed since Foreman's home run. 3rd walk of the game. Look at the Duke numbers this season, leading the ACC both in doubles and triples.
Yeah, those extra base hits, they have been able to find their way to the outfield. They've been very solid at the plate. Right now would be a great time for them to string some hits together.
Jacobson sends it into left field, foul ball, and Greenwood could not track it down. The 2 walks that Roby gave up in the 1st inning scored on Foreman's home run. No base runners until this, her 3rd walk to Foreman. Up in the air. Ornelas goes out, grabs it in foul territory for the 2nd out.
Well, and I loved her presence of mind, knowing that there was a runner on first base with some speed to be able to bring that ball in for the catch, but then draw her attention over to second base in case there looked to be an advancement. So Ornelas in there as a defensive specialist. She does not hit in the lineup for Louisville, doing a really good job over there at third base.
So now 2 outs with Foreman on first for Crabtree, who struck out looking her first time up.
Hey, let's go, Robbie!
Into center, and that drops. Foreman coming in all the way from first. Duke gets another double. Crabtree drives in the go-ahead run.
We talked about how Duke leads the league in doubles. Well, there's another one. Hits this one, goes the other way with it. Good piece of hitting to just take that pitch on the outer half. That split grip gives her a little bit more torque through the swing. But then check out this base running, scoring all the way from first base. Gets on her horse and rides it all the way home. All 4 of Duke's runs have come with 2 outs.
That was Foreman who scored the 3-run home run back in the first, just scored here, and that's the luxury of there being 2 outs. She could just go with the crack of the bat, not have to be concerned about whether it would be caught or not. Good base running and the RBI double for Rachel Crabtree, who has the most RBIs in the history of this Duke program. Crabtree lifted now for a pinch runner. Kendall Lange, one of those graduates that you were talking about earlier. Already got a job lined up. That one is sent to center, back right at the edge of the warning track. Funky retires Torres, but the RBI double by Rachel Crabtree gets Duke back on top. Saturday is going to be awesome. We have 4 championship games coming your way, beginning with the ACC on ESPN at noon Eastern Time, followed by the American Championship, Big 12, and the SEC. Hey, Arkansas lost today.
They did. They will not be playing for the SEC Tournament Championship, even though they tied with Florida for the regular season.
Went in as the number 2 seed, lost to, was it Tennessee today?
Today, yep, 1-0.
Ashley Walters, talking about a pitcher doing a lot of heavy lifting. Threw over, not Ashley Walters.
Ashley Rogers.
Ashley Rogers, the other Ashley. Ashley Walters is an art. Sorry about that. Yeah, Rogers threw 174 pitches yesterday, went out and pitched today and shut out Arkansas.
Yeah, and she's in pain. We've seen her with some back issues this year, but she is absolutely biting the bullet and bringing it everything that she's got. She did not play in the 2020 season because of those back issues, and so the best of the best, just grind all the way down to the end. You don't want to see your season end. I would anticipate seeing Tennessee in the postseason with their RPI.
Carmen Greenwood leading off. Skies it to Jackson. Greenwood had an RBI single back in the second. Now Maddie Newman, who was the first batter that Peyton St. George faced when she came in to relieve Shelby Walters. So here begins her second time through the lineup. Walters lasted just an inning and a third, gave up all the runs. 3 runs charged to her. St. George in the circle has not allowed a base runner.
Yeah, she's been the perfect complement to Walters, who started this game, filled the bottom of the zone. St. George came in, just a nasty changeup to keep these hitters off balance, uses the top of the zone, climbs the ladder for the swing and the miss. And we've also seen her use that outside corner to the lefties.
You see the shift on again.
Now, so they take the right fielder, move her in, shift around, put three infielders over there on the left side.
Another off-speed pitch that was just a tad too high. Nobody out there in right field. And you see the other outfielders playing well in. The third baseman, Tapia, is at least a third of the way down the line.
When a third baseman is used to playing up in the grill of the lefty, you're not really worried about power coming down at you. Yes, you have to react to a line drive that might get hit in that 5-6 hole, but a third baseman is used to crashing hard. The key to defending a slapper is reading their hands. You don't look at their feet, you look at what the top hand does. And if the top hand slides up the bat, it shows you there's going to be short game. But if it stays down at the bottom of the barrel or bottom of the bat near the knob, it means they're going to be swinging away. And so you kind of hold your ground rather than crashing.
On the way, and that gets over the glove of Cable, first base runner against St. George, and the first base runner since the second inning. Good bat control by Newman.
Well, how do you combat a shift? You just hit it over it. You don't worry about putting the ball on the ground. A really good slapper has great barrel control. Maddie Newman taking the barrel below the knob to lift it into the outfield. Great base hit for Maddie Newman.
And that sets up Taylor Roby, who struck out against St. George to end the second inning. Roby is the best power hitter on this team.
But check out the shift. It's three defenders on the left side. Beyond the leap. Great placement. Just finds the grass. Beautiful base hit. It's the first hit
since, yep.
Sorry, Pam. First hit since the second inning.
Good job by Torres to hang on to that pitch. Keep Newman over at first. Yep, first hit since the 4 singles in the second inning by Louisville, all of them against departed starter Shelby Walters. Strike at the knees. Terrific numbers for Roby. Only Logan Morris at NC State has driven in more runs in the league this year. And the stretch and the grab, what a play by Torres. And now they have Newman dead to rights in the base paths. Kelly Torres getting out from behind the plate, making a spectacular play to start the inning-ending double play.
Well, if that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what will. Talk about an amazing defensive play. Kelly Torres lays out to get the out. Heads up play, throws over to second base. Check it out. The dive, the tag, the double play, and they're out of the inning.
Glover up.
Welcome back to Louisville, where we saw a defensive play to get Duke out of the top half of the inning. Check it out. It's a pop-up by Taylor Roby. Kelly Torres jumps out, gets the catch on the dive. Great defensive play, but then heads up, recognizes that the runner is going to try to advance. Maddie Newman tagged out by Christina Foreman. An amazing double play. Duke back in the dugout because of their defense.
Yeah, Torres all smiles. You can't blame her. And I don't know if you saw in that play, after she made that, she ran to first base to back up the play. So that's great hustle all the way around. Great fundamental softball by the freshman from Plantation, Florida. She's also thrown out 9 runners this season. Got the gear on. Great play, great double play to end the inning after Newman's 1-out single. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Pinch hitter coming in for Morris, Francesca Freilich.
Well, and one of the things we talked about with Holly April about Taylor Roby in the circle is that she doesn't let what happens on offense affect what happens in the circle. So she does a really good job of separating her pitching from her hitting. She can hit a ton of pitches, but in that situation, you can expect that she was a little frustrated by that result.
And Freilich popping out to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Will be in the circle. Has been doing it in the circle and at bat all season long. And here's Deja Davis. Walked and scored on the 3-run homer by Foreman in the 1st inning. DPing tonight, not playing in the field. We saw her last week in the NC State series playing in right field.
She was riding a 9-game hit streak, but then in that last game against NC State, did not come away with a hit, but this looks like a good one.
That one's going to go to the wall. Deja Davis. She's a really good base runner trying to get a triple. She is in there. Duke softball, they love to hit them in the gap. No one's hit more triples in the league than these Duke Blue Devils.
Well, and actually no one's hit more triples in the league than Deja Davis. That's her 7th triple of the year. All comes down to where do you place it and how fast do you get around the bases. Great job of hitting this one into that right center field gap and then just running it out.
Oh, but now Davis caught in a rundown. Tagged out, and now the throw back. And Tapia barely got back into second.
Now you would think that they would want to try to challenge this, but Pam, they've already used their 2 challenges. Louisville, they think that they got that tag, but there is no challenge to be able to go to the video replay for them. So check it out. Heads up play over there at second base. Maddie Newman gets the out at home between that pickle. They think they tagged her over there on the leg, but there is no challenge, so there's nothing that Holly April can do. Not until the 6th inning can the umpires go to the review. Now, if I was an umpire, I think I would go to a review to make sure, but at the same time, there is no way for Holly April to combat that one.
So Tapia reaching on the fielder's choice. Advance to second on the throw. Davis out at home. 4-5 to 2-4. That's the end of the inning. Jackson retired. 1-out triple by Davis does no damage. This is just the 4th year for Duke softball, and that's head coach Marissa Young, who was hired a couple of years before the program got going. She was a terrific pitcher at Michigan, Big Ten Player of the Year in '03, and an assistant in Chapel Hill. Got to 100 wins. This year now at 116, and they're going to make history this year. They're going to get to the NCAA tournament. They're going to get at least an at-large bid. But right now what they're looking at, they have not won a game in the ACC tournament. 4th year of existence. There was no tournament last year, no championship. They're 0-2 in their previous 2, and they are 6 outs away from getting their first ACC win, ACC championship win. It also would be their 40th win of the season. And Marissa Young, like John Rittman over at Clemson, building programs. Starting them from scratch. Would you like to start a program from scratch?
I think it would depend on what kind of support I would be able to get from my administration. And that's actually two of the things, or that's actually what both of the coaches have said from both Clemson and Duke. Their administrations not only gave them the financial support to start the program correctly, but they gave them the opportunity to come in and get their feet set and planted before they began competition. So they've given them the opportunity to get fully funded right from the very beginning, build beautiful stadiums to be able to recruit to, and also give them a year to get their feet underneath them before they entered competitive play.
As you look towards their postseason, 16 RPI, strength of schedule at 38. We're expecting for them to get an at-large bid if they don't win this tournament. Head coach Marissa Young and her staff. Josh Bloomer, Jessica Bracamonte. And that Clemson stadium I hear is terrific. You mentioned Duke with the new one as well. And it was John Rittman who told us that they had like a fan fest at Clemson. And people were lined up. He said it was like an hour and a half before they were letting them in, and the kids went to after practice to get a snack break, and they looked, and he said it was at least a quarter of a mile long. People lining up coming in. People were snapping up tickets, and they're thinking that they didn't put enough seats in the building.
What a cool experience for those players at Clemson to be able to come away with that one, but a really nice walk by Rebecca Chung to lead off the inning for Louisville, knowing that they've only got 6 outs before this game is over, giving themselves a great opportunity to start off the inning against St. George, who has really kept them at bay since entering the game.
So Alana Ornelas, who has been playing third base but not in the batting order, pinch running for Chung.
Right, she is the flex defender who sits in the 10th line in the lineup that gets turned into home plate. She and Rebecca Chung actually share the same offensive line in that lineup. So she enters for Chung, will run for her, but then can slide back into the flex spot for Chung to hit next time.
So first walk surrendered by St. George. Charlie Butler walked and scored in the 3-run third inning. Puts it up in the air where it's grabbed by Crabtree. Nellis sticking close to first.
Well, when you are told to sacrifice bunt, your job is to move the runner. You're giving yourself up. But Peyton St. George is a rise ball pitcher. So you square to bunt. If that ball is above your armpits or above where you set to bunt, you've got to let it go. And you could see that she went up a little bit for that. That will just lend itself to a pop-up. And there's no movement on the bases because of it.
St. George starts Hurst off with an off-speed pitch. Nice play by Crabtree, who's crashing in from first. Actually had to leap to get it. First out of the 6th inning. Hurst lined out to Jacobson last time up. He made a really nice play out in right field to end the 3rd inning. Winner gets Florida State tomorrow afternoon after Clemson plays Virginia Tech. Semifinals on the ACC network. First year the ACC network has had every game leading up to the finals. Crabtree, another chance. And the second out. 3 of the top 4 seeds already into the semifinals. Duke clinging to a 1-run lead as we play here in the top of the 6th inning. Rochard, Cagle, Sandercock all pitching well this afternoon, getting wins. And Blake Nelman for Georgia Tech, you have to give her a nod, got the no-hitter yesterday. And then pitched really well against a tough Clemson team, only gave up 2 solo home runs. Was it Cami Pereira who hit him? And she only had 1 home run all season coming in. So kind of a weird day, but great pitching performances that we have seen. St. George coming in, trying to shut him down after Walters struggled. She started. And again, that first semifinal tomorrow, we expect a Rochard-Cagle pitching matchup. 1-2 pitch to Cassidy Greenwood, younger sister of Carmen.
Well, and don't forget, Pam, in Cassidy's last at bat, it was that down and out pitch that got her on the swing and miss that recorded that strikeout. But there's the sisters, and when we talked to Coach Holly April about the sisters, she said, you know, they're close, but they play independently.
Oh my, Foreman handled a high hop very well, and Cooley stepped on second to force out Ornelas and end the inning. So the Duke defense coming up with a couple of nice plays in the last couple of innings.
Gets him out of this one. Check it out. Greenwood, the play up the middle. The cool tag at
2. Welcome back. The ACC Softball Championship, Game 4 of our quarterfinals. And if that isn't a gorgeous shot, Jenny Dalton Hill. Beautiful night in Kentucky. Louisville. Cardinals, though, losing as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Now down to 61 degrees, by the way. Nice clear night. Going to be a gorgeous weekend. We got softball weather, Jen. We're lucky.
Well, you say Louisville, I say Louisville.
No, you don't want to hear me try to pronounce it that way.
Comes down to how long have you lived here, right?
Jamison Cable, the shortstop, leading things off for Duke. The big blow. Christina Foreman with the home run. 3-run shot in the first inning. Duke added a single run in the 4th on Crabtree's RBI double. We're trying to advance to take on Florida State tomorrow. That finds the glove of Maddie Newman. Duke was swept by Florida State in the regular season, got shut out in 2 of those 3 games. Louisville had 2 wins, a loss, and a tie. That game on the February 25th tied because Lonnie Alameda's team, they had a drop-dead time to get to their plane, and so it ended scoreless in the 12th inning. So that's why both Louisville and Florida State have a tie on their resumes. Here's Foreman. Hottest Duke hitter the last couple of weekends.
Well, Duke just having a really good run through the ACC season. was able to sweep 3 of their matchups. And a nice pitch by Taylor Roby. That one just ran off the plate. Check out the placement of this pitch. Finds its way into the river. Great spot, especially against a hitter like Foreman, who was able to hit it out in the first inning. Those 3 runs that they were able to put up were from her bat early on. That pitch ran off the plate. A great strikeout for Taylor Roby.
3rd strikeout for Roby. 2 away and none on now for Jacobson. He was popped out a couple of times. Duke being out hit in this game 5-3. Duke has a home run, a triple, and a double. No singles. Their slugging percentage very good so far. So a single away from the cycle as a team for this Duke Blue Devil club, but it's all about timely hitting, and Foreman with that 3-run shot in the first. And then the single run put in by the double from Crabtree. Well, Roby was upset, literally hopping mad that that was not called a swing.
I kind of am too. I mean, look how far around she goes. I thought that was a no-doubter. She clearly breaks the plane of the plate. But she lives to tell about it and hits it into the outfield for the 3rd out of the inning.
Funky grabs it. Last chance now for Louisville. Only down a run. 8-9 one-hitters due up when we come back. Here we go. Louisville 3 outs to get at least 1 run to extend this quarterfinal game, trailing Duke 4-3, heading to the top of the 7th. The winner gets Florida State, number 2 seed tomorrow, in the second of our 2 semifinals. Number 1 seed Clemson, number 4 seed Virginia Tech will play at 1 Eastern time on the ACC network, and it's going to have to begin with the bottom of the order. It is Celine Funky who has an RBI single. Peyton St. George coming in, just 10 batters in. Shelby Walters struggling, went an inning and a third, gave up all 3 runs, a couple of walks, threw 52 pitches to those 10 batters. St. George has really kept him at bay. Cable throws it away. Oh, Funky might have been safe anyway, but they get the lead runner on.
Yeah, Funky hit it off the end of the bat. That was definitely not squared up, and because of that, it's a slow roller over there to the left side. Just pushed over there to the shortstop. Jamison Cable rushes her throw because of the speed down the line. Funky leads the team in stolen bases, so she's quick down the line, but also look for her to be in motion to try to get herself in scoring position.
Just the second hit off St. George, and another infield single as Jenna Servey comes up.
Check out this spot. It just continues to have that late sharp break. St. George gets that run on it. Nice spot.
Advances the runner. Good play by Tapia to pounce on it to get Servey, but Funky now over at second with 1 away.
Well, that is a perfect sacrifice bunt. Servey turned on that one knowing that St. George is a rise ball pitcher, does a really good job of staying on top of the ball, pushing it into the ground, waiting to advance to first base, knowing that her job is to be out, move the runner into scoring position, does a really good job. And now Funky in scoring position for Louisville, trying to tie this one up.
And it's the top of the order, and Carmen Greenwood, best hitter on this team. Fourth in the entire country in hits, hitting .435. RBI single back in the 3-run second inning.
check out this spot. That's where St. George continues to hammer. That's the pitch that got her sister out, actually, on the strikeout. Cassidy Greenwood down at the bottom of the lineup, hitting in the 7th slot, was vulnerable to that screwball down and out. Beautiful spot for St. George, but with an even count, Carmen Greenwood is exactly who Louisville wants to have up. Just a tremendously consistent approach. Just 3 home runs on the year, but has that power and leads the team in average.
Lifts it into left field. Jackson tracks. Keeps Funky at second. Now 2 away. Huge out for Duke.
Yeah, the way to approach that pitch down and away is to make sure that you take your eyes and your head, stay right on it, drive through that ball. You can see that she pulled off of it a little bit, kind of a half swing at it. And because of that, you've got to get back to second base to look to advance. There's no way with that ball being on the left side for her to be able to get there over to third.
Coach Marissa Young out into the circle, draws in her infield. Maddie Newman, who is singled, reached on an error, and has an RBI sac fly, coming up with Funky over at second and 2 away.
So the question is, do they put the shift on again? It was not successful last time Newman was up to the plate, but will they put that shift back on, trust the rise ball out of St. George, can continue to jump through the zone? Let's see where they select the defense, but no defensive shift will come on. However, look, the 5-6 hole has been tremendously cramped down, and second base is up the middle, so they leave a wide gap from that 5-6 hole all the way over there to second base.
Last time up, Newman was able to scooch one over the glove of the shortstop. Tapia ends the game. So Duke gets out hit 6-3, but they win it by the final of 4-3. Peyton St. George coming in after Walters struggled to start the game. Duke has won its first ACC championship/tournament game in its history, and they get Florida State tomorrow afternoon.
Well, not only is it their first ACC championship win here in the tournament, but it is their 40th win. So this is the 40th win, first 40-win season for Duke, playing so well here going into what will be the semifinals tomorrow. They're going to have to really buckle down, though, that defense as they come against Florida State at 3:30 tomorrow.
So St. George just gave up 2 hits in 5 2/3 scoreless innings. Louisville most likely has seen their season come to a close. So Duke, it was a big hit by Foreman in the first inning.
Christina Foreman with the jack. It didn't leave the park by much. It hit that deck out there in left field. It was ruled a home run. Each of the runners that were on base were put there via the walk, so that 3-run home run was a big one. Then in the 4th inning, Duke was able to tack on another one. Rachel Crabtree with the deep hit to left center. Check it out. It makes it all the way to the fence, and because of it, it allows Christina Foreman to score all the way from first base. So fast, recognizes right away that she has an opportunity to score. This is the game winner. Round second, doesn't even hesitate around third, and could have gone in standing up. That's the 4 runs and the win for Duke.
All 4 runs for Duke came with 2 outs. Foreman continues her offensive tear, and the top 4 seeds have gotten through. We will see you tomorrow at 1 Eastern time on the ACC Network for Clemson, Virginia Tech, and then this Duke team will take on Florida State after that. So Duke takes it. 4 quarterfinals are in the books for Jenny Dalton-Hill and our entire crew. I'm Pam Ward as we say so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the semifinal doubleheader.